Good morning and welcome back at Spearpoint Training Institute for our last lesson in the series on making failing not your enemy. And the topic for today is making failing your training partner. I know this sounds contradictory. I know this sounds so wrong in so many levels, but listen very, very carefully, especially for today. And we have been for the past 4 or 5 weeks looking at mistakes, making mistakes, being a failure and failing, and how we differentiate the difference between failing and a failure. Failing is like making a mistake, and a mistake is part and parcel of life. It's part and parcel of being a leader. You cannot be a leader and not make a mistake. This is a given. We have to make peace with the principle of I am going to make a mistake. Somewhere along the line, I am going to make a mistake. But the most important thing about making mistakes is to learn from our mistakes. Last week I said it to you as well. Remember, we can only make a mistake once. If I repeat the same action, and it's a mistake again, it means it's no longer a mistake, but a decision we have made, a choice we have made. So let us jump into today's topic immediately without wasting. It's important to turn every loss we experience into a profit. In other words, to take every situation, doesn't matter how bad it is, what has happened in your life, let us turn it into a learning experience with a positive outcome. But we need to have an attitude of learning. Don't say, yeah, but this is somebody's fault or this is fault. The question that we need to ask ourselves, what can I learn from this mistake? There are things that are beyond our control. There are things beyond our influence, but we are influenced by the situation. And now there are a few questions we need to ask ourselves when we have made a mistake. Number one, what caused this mistake? What caused me to fail this time? So find the core reason for not making a positive outcome of the situation. Was I prepared enough? Did I do my due diligence? Have I prepared for different situations and circumstances? Did I do my history on this? Am I prepared? Was I ready for the new season? So that's the first question. What caused the failure? Was it within my influence sphere? Was it because of other people's influence? Was it because of situations or circumstances that have changed? These are the things that we need to ask ourselves whenever we face a problem and whenever we are making a mistake. The second question we need to ask ourselves, what happened that really caused my mistake? Was what happened truly a failure? Or do I perceive the outcome as a failure? So be careful with especially this question. We can so easily see something as a mistake. Yet it was not a mistake, but it was just an outcome beyond what we have expected. It was outside of our frame of reference. And then down the line, in retrospect, it was actually not a mistake. But it was beyond our reasoning, our understanding. So that's the second question. The third question, what can I learn from this experience? And my wife and I, we have this motto in life. When things go wrong, the first thing we ask, Lord, what do you want to teach me? What can I learn from this? And then learn as quickly as possible so that you can graduate to the next level, to step up to a higher level. Number 4, am I grateful for this experience? What a tough question. Am I ready and am I grateful for this? How can I be grateful when things go wrong in my life? This is the essence of today's lesson. Make failing your training partner. Do I appreciate? Thessalonians says, praise God in all situations, in all circumstances. And I know it's not easy, especially when things go wrong in your life. When your relationships are souring up. When your work is not where it's supposed to be. We just got retrenched. Or you are going through the consequences of COVID-19. How can I then be grateful for the experience? And I've been saying before, I'm going to say it again this morning. When COVID-19 hit us in March 2020, I thought, okay, this is 3 weeks. We'll take it through with a breeze. It's just a nice time of relaxation and forced rest. And as the time goes by, I realized, this is not going to change quickly. COVID-19 is going to be with us for a long time. And I don't see it ending this year. And I said to my wife, Esme, I want to do something different this year. That was now last year. I want to utilize this opportunity to grow. What did I do? I started a publishing house. Since then, we've published 12 books. Not just my own, from different authors. Because my focus is to help especially first-time authors. Not just only first-time, but especially people who want to publish their first book. I know how difficult it is, the costing involved in it. So we've started a publishing house, reaching out to others, helping them to publish their books. So we have helped 12 books to be published in the past year. Something we have never done before. I've written 3 books during the pandemic. Started with live training. Like today. We've never done this before. It was always face-to-face training. Started live streaming of our services on a Sunday morning. I'm grateful for COVID-19 in this regard. Not for the sickness, not for the pandemic, not for the deaths, not for people that were sick and affected by COVID. But what COVID forced me to do, to think outside of the box. Now suddenly, our church has expanded its footprint by implementing a branch in our church known as the E-Church, where people who want to be part of our church but cannot physically or geographically be part of our church on a Sunday morning, they are joining us as electronic members, e-members. And I'm mentoring them, I'm pastoring them, I'm taking care of them. So suddenly things are happening in the ministry and in the training. If it was not for COVID-19, I would probably never have done this before. So be grateful in every experience, even in the negative. And the fifth question I've just answered, how can I turn this into a success? So about 2019, I've written a book, How God Can Turn Every Adversity into a Victory. It's all about a mindset. We have another church just outside of Pretoria in Hammanskraal, where the tent got damaged to the storm and age and was totally destroyed, and where we had to decide, are we going to buy a new tent or do a building project? For either one of them, We don't have the money in the bank to start. And we have decided that we're going to build. A year later, a complete worship center being built. A 350, 400 seater. Being built in Hammanskraal. Cash. It is how God can turn adversity into victory, but depending on our attitude. How can I make a success for things I'm going through in my life? None of us are sitting with perfect backgrounds. Number 6, who can help me learn the most from this experience? Speak to people. Surround yourself through counsel of people that have been there before. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Just as an illustration, the day when we decided we are going to build the church, our church nearly halved. People don't like the idea of being stretched in faith, to be challenged in their comfort zone, so they left. Instead of people coming, because we have the mentality, people bring money. Instead of trusting the vision, we rely on people. Half the people left. But we remained positive, focused on our vision, where we're going. Result, money came in from all across the world. New furniture, new kitchen, new stove, new everything. And there it is today, an established worship center, debt-free, for approximately 350, 400 people, which we can be proud of. Adversity turned into a victory. But I had to ask and speak to people who have walked this road, experienced the same things, that encouraged me. Number 7, where do I go from here? We cannot stay here now. We need to continue. So we have decided this is not going to be church. It's going to be a worship center that can be rented out for functions and activities. It must generate finances. It must not be a white elephant that will be used once a week or twice a week maximum, but it must be utilized every day of the week. So these are the questions we must ask ourselves when we are going through challenging times, when we have made mistakes. The only person who have never made a mistake according to them is a person that has done nothing. But actually that is your biggest mistake. You can never progress in life if you have never made a mistake in your life. I know so many businessmen, somewhere along the line in their business, in their journey to destiny, they went through challenging, tough times. But yet, they remained focused. Never giving up. But there are 10 things that I just want to quickly touch on. There are more, but I want to focus just on 10 things why people fail. Number 1. The number 1 reason why people fail is their poor people skills, their interpersonal skills. They lack the skills. You hear the word skills, not gift, skills. It means it's something that must be learned. Or something that, if something can be taught, it can be unlearned. If that is a good English word. I don't think it is a good English word, but so whatever I have must be dismantled if it's wrong and built up again. So poor people skills. We are not there to rule, manipulate or control people. They are our most prized possession or prized resource in our business. Not a possession, resource is people. Number 2, a negative attitude. People don't see a solution to a problem. They tend to see a problem in every solution. Don't surround yourself with negative people. Then you will never achieve greatness in your life. Because they'll always tell you it's impossible. Especially you. You cannot make it. What makes you so special that you think you can make it? Number 3, not playing towards your strength. In other words, we try to do something outside of our strength. If I must decide today, I am going to record a music video. That's definitely not my strength. And for those who know me, they will say, that's not your strength. But if I decide today I'm going to write and produce and sing my own music video, it is doomed for failure. Not failing, failure. Because I am operating outside of my strength. Stay true to your niche. Do that what you are able to do. But listen carefully. Here's something very important. I say do what you are able to do. But this does not say I don't need to teach myself, improve my skills, improve my abilities. But stay true to your strength. We need to expand. We need to grow our strength. We need to enlarge our capacities. We cannot remain the same today as yesterday. I like to ask this question. When last did you do something for the very first time? When last did you do something for the very first time? And that answer will tell you when last you have grown in your life. We tend to repeat everything every day and say, I've got so many years of experience. An actual fact, it took you a year to learn it. So if you have 10 years of experience, it's actually 1 year of experience, 9 years of repetition. When last did you do something for the very first time? Number 4, lack of focus. Focus, focus, focus. People get frustrated with me because I keep on repeating myself in this like a parrot. Focus, purpose, destiny. Destiny keeps you alive. Purpose keeps you alive. I nearly drowned a few years ago, but purpose kept me alive. The day when I sank into the water, ready to die, I realized, I said to myself, I said to God, God, I cannot die. There's too much things still outstanding in my life that needs to be done. And the next moment I got plucked out of the sea by a lifesaver. Purpose will keep you alive. Without purpose, we give up. Without focus, the storms and negative things in life will drown us in our situations. Number 5. Weak commitment. And commitment is the brother of focus. Why are you getting up in the morning? Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it for the money? Is it just to stay alive? Or are you doing what you like to do? My son asked me quite a few years ago, what is the best job? I said to him, my son, find that thing, what you are passionate about. Do that. And you will never ever have to work again in your life. I am passionate about leadership. I'm passionate about teaching. Yes, there are many others better than me, most probably are. But this is not what it's all about. It's what is my passion. I live for what I do. And then purpose shall prepare the way for me. Number 6, an unwillingness to change. When people do not want to change, they are doomed for failure. Failing is when we don't change. And as a result of a non-change attitude, a steadfast attitude in the negative sense, we are doomed for failure. Number 7, there are no shortcuts. Definitely no shortcuts. It's hard work, dedication, skills improvement, commitment, over and over and over. I have 2 doctorates. And there was a time in my life that I had to say no to invitations to go and fellowship with others or to go to a function because I have to do research. For years, that was my work. Read, write, research. Read, write, research. And the day when I've done my second doctorate, I said to my wife, now I'm done studying. I will start to write now in the future. But in the preparation time of my studies, whilst others were going out and having fun, I had to sacrifice time. But today, I can relax and enjoy the benefits of my hard work. It did not come overnight. There was no shortcuts. Quite a few, I was still at school when we went on holiday with my aunt and my uncle, and he said to me, we're going to take a shortcut this way. And that shortcut took us an hour and a half longer than it would have taken us on the other route. And the lesson I've learned from this, if the shortcut was the right route would have been the shortcut. Doesn't make sense? If the shortcut was the right way, the highway would have been there. The freeway would have gone that way. There's a specific reason why it's called a freeway. It's quicker. It is not necessarily shorter, but it's definitely quicker than the alternative route. And we have to pay the price to get to destiny on the freeway. Number 8, relying on your talents alone. There was a time that you could just ride on your talents and enjoy your talents. But unfortunately, our talents will open up the doors for us, but it will not keep us on the top. Our character, our skills component will keep us on the top. There are too many talented people for me just to rely on my talent. Let your life reflect who you are, and that shall precede you and wait for you in your destiny. Number 9, people fail because they are incorporating poor information, insufficient information in their decision-making process and their application thereof. Your information, your success is directly related to the accuracy of your information. And number 10, people fail because they don't set goals. I might be a stickler to goals, times, due dates, and you work according to these things. We have to do this. Otherwise, we shall be running around aimlessly and even not knowing when you reach your destiny. If you don't have a goal, you will never know when you've reached something in life. So these are just some quick things that we need to observe to know when we are missing something if we don't have goals. So what do we need to do? Work on the weaknesses that weakens you. Work on your weaknesses that weakens you. And as you start to do this, you shall see progress in your life. Talk to a trusted friend. We all need friends in our life. Somebody that we can trust. Somebody we can rely upon. Somebody that will give us the truth. Not just a sugar-coated truth, but a truth that we will benefit from. We need those people. Talk to a trusted friend. Ask him or her to help you evaluate you in all your areas of life. In other words, to give you your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. To be honest with you, but also to help you to overcome everything in your life. Put yourself on a growth path. I've set aside between 2 and 3 hours a day to write, to read and to write. I cannot expect a book to be written by just sitting there over the weekend to write. I set aside time over a period, every day, to write, to do research, to prepare sermons, to prepare a teaching. Be dedicated in what you want to do, because your growth plan shall overcome your weakness. Originally, I don't like reading. I would rather prefer to watch a video or a DVD, or if you're really old school, a VHS video. And if you're even old school, a beta. Now most of you will look at me and say, what are you talking about? It's CDs, DVDs, and lately we have iPods. There's progression in life. I am astonished about the growth that have taken place technologically in South Africa over the past 50 years. How things have, actually 40 years, how things have changed drastically. And if you don't keep up with change, you'll become a dinosaur in your field of expertise in no time. Where you once were leading, you will become extinct or threaten to be extinct, on the endangered list. Put your every action for your focus of your destiny. Put it into action. Every thought, every plan, and stick to it. Do not run here and there and everywhere. And if you have a plan of action, give it proper time to mature. People tend to do something, have a plan in place. But if that plan does not produce the required results in a short period of time, they leave it and they continue to do something else. People go to the gym to lose weight and to put on some body mass or muscle mass to look better, but they expect results within a month. How long did it take you to put on those weight? How long did it take you to neglect your body? But we expect within weeks to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in our lives. It takes time to bring back that to perfection. Ask your friend, again, ask your friend to evaluate your progress, to keep you accountable to destiny, to look at your life, to say to you, but you know, you've said something to me 2 weeks ago, but I don't see the fruit. I don't see you changing. So it's a process of making mistakes, grow. Making mistakes, grow. But don't remain at the place of failing. Don't remain at the place of insecurity. Don't remain at the place where you sit and say, I cannot do this. I think I am just deemed to fail. So let us continue. Here's a list of options for dealing with a dead horse. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes we keep on doing the same things over and over and over, and we expect a different result. A dead horse. Now here's a list of things to do with a dead horse. How do I deal with my situation that does not want to change? Buy a stronger whip. Beat this dead horse harder. Because this dead horse is just lazy. Get him activated. Change riders. Redeploy your current people and get other people because they cannot do this. It's their inability, so we get new people. We appoint a committee to study the conditions of this dead horse. And we all know what happens with committees. They meet and they eat and have coffee and sandwiches, and they meet again and have a subcommittee to investigate what the committee is doing, and then a subcommittee, and we keep ourselves busy looking at this dead horse. And then from there we appoint a team to revive this dead horse, to try to get this dead horse active again. We send a memo out declaring that the horse is not really dead, and we can use all the nice analogies and sending them information and motivate the people. This horse is not dead. It just looks dead, but it is just the appearance from the outside. And we try to motivate everybody else. Say, don't worry, he's not dead. We are hiring a consultant to determine the seriousness of this problem. We get people to blow air into the horse as if it is breathing. We get outside consultants at a very high price. And then we harness the several dead horses together for increased speed and efficiency. We get a whole wagon pulled by dead horses. All over the seasons, dead horses. We're getting them together and think that this group of dead horses will make a difference. We rewrite the definition of a live horse so that our dead horse don't look dead on paper. You know what? Life is not lived on paper. It's lived in the it's being lived in the reality of life. Pardon. Number 9. Declare the horse to be better. We declare and we decree. We declare that he's faster and quicker. We declare that this dead horse is not dead. And we are confronting people that are saying this horse is dead. So we are so busy keeping this dead horse alive that we're going nowhere slowly. And then, if nothing else works, we promote this dead horse into a supervisory position, hoping that a higher position will revive this horse. But the answer is, there's only one effective way to deal with a dead horse. When your horse is dead, dismount. Get off. Get out. Start over. Don't sit at your place where you have failed. That makes you a failure. But if you realize my horse is dead, dismount. Get up. Get a different horse. Don't rewrite your definitions of this dead horse. Don't get a committee. Don't have a pity party about the dead horse. Bury it. Put up a tombstone. Write on it whatever you like. But go on. Go back to learn from your mistakes. This is why I said, let failing become your training partner. Learn from your mistakes and ask yourself the questions I've started right there in the beginning. Ask yourself those questions. People change when they have heard enough. When they have experienced enough pain, they will change. While they don't have enough pain, they will do the same things over and over. People will change when they have learned enough that change is necessary. People will change when they have enough information that will force them to change and help them to change. So let us now, just in closing, I'm done. Just in closing, I told you last week, I think the best book on leadership and on development is the Bible. I want to take you now back to the Bible. In Luke 15 with the prodigal son. Here are a few lessons we can learn from the prodigal son. He wanted his independence. So the father gave him his independence and his inheritance. And he squandered his inheritance. The moment when a person comes to you and demanded a leadership position because they feel they are entitled to this, you must know they're not ready for that position yet. Because if they were ready, you would have known. A prodigal, a person that will squander what has been invested in his future, is somebody that demands promotion. So the father gave that son his inheritance. What did he do? He committed iniquity. We call it sin and others call it this. Iniquity is to do the things that you're not supposed to do, which you were not created to do. He was not created to eat with pigs, to live in a pigsty. He has a better future. Most of us don't realize what I am destined to be, what I need to become. So many people are living on a daily basis just to survive. But that's not your destiny. Surviving is not living. So this prodigal son, he came to a point, he reached a point of desperation. How desperate are you to change your situation? How desperate are you to change your circumstances? How desperate are you for your business to be successful? Only if you are desperate enough will you be willing to pay a price. Sometimes we have to swallow our pride, acknowledge a mistake. But we don't want to acknowledge it. We would rather blame other people. You ask the people that have left the organization that forced us to be where we are today. But this prodigal son longed for a better life. He longed for his father's house. For us as leaders, we must long for a better future. That we will not be happy with our current situation, our current circumstance. Just to make it our budget every month is not living. That's surviving. This prodigal son made a decision to go back home. For us as leaders, we must make a decision to change. If you want to change, learn from your mistakes. In other words, make failing your training partner. He accepted his responsibility. He didn't blame his brother. He didn't blame other people. He accepted his responsibility and he said, let me go. So it's one thing to decide. It's another thing to accept your responsibility and yet another thing to get up and go. So this morning, if you are sitting at a place of failing, of a mistake, or in the ash heaps and you feel you can no longer make it, get up. Dust yourself off, dismount from that dead horse and stand up. Take up your responsibility. And if you have to ask forgiveness, ask forgiveness. This is what the prodigal son did. He asked forgiveness and his father forgave him and had a party for him. So this morning, as a leader, if you are not at the place you ought to be, dismount, change. Accept your responsibility, take action, and sit with people who can guide you, sit with people who can lead you, sit with people that can challenge you. But make a decision to change. Nothing will change until we change. So this morning, when you've made a mistake, fail forward. Learn from it. Make failing your training partner, and you shall see the negative feeling about the fear of making a mistake will leave your life, never to be concerned about it again. But we are so scared of making a mistake that we are paralyzed to grow. So, your future is in your hands. Make a decision. Take that decision and grow into destiny. So this is the series on failing forward. Don't wait for something to happen. Get up, make something happen. Goodbye.